Back here at Dutch Park Stadium in Pueblo as the Fort Morgan Mustangs get ready to take on the Pueblo East Eagles. We'll give you the Fort Morgan starting lineup, and that is brought to you by Cargill Beef. Cargill Beef is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com.
It looks like Fort Morgan will receive, which will be strange because I can't remember the last time we received a kick.
Yeah, so we will go with the offensive starters today. Quarterback, junior Dalen Knapp. Fullback, senior Toby McBride. Tailback is junior Tate Kimball. Center is senior Jake Norris. Right guard, junior Nate Cage. Right tackle, junior Eric Carrillo. Left guard is junior Colton Carpenter. Left tackle, junior Jorge Ramos. Tight end is sophomore Trey McBride. And the receivers are senior Kyle Daniels and junior Dawson Frick.
Although as we talked earlier, I think we'll see Tate Kimball out there as a receiver a little bit tonight or today as well.
The opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you? We have a kickoff here, and it's going to come down to Daniels at the 10. Across the 15, the 20, breaks out across the 25, and taken down hard about the 25. So that's where the Fort Morgan Mustangs will take over to start this game. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan, can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. Fort Morgan come out. Kevin and I did go to a little bit of practice on Wednesday, and they did a lot of practicing with screen passes, so we'll see how that plays into the offense today. They're going to set up trips to the left. One receiver right, put Tate in as a kind of a wingman. It's going to be handed off to Tater on that left side. Gets outside, 25-30, 35-40, 45-50. And he is going to be taken down into the 44-yard line of the Pueblo East Eagles. So nice run there by Tate Kimball as he got excellent blocking out on that left side.
And Daniel Martin, their star quarterback, also plays left cornerback on defense. Was the guy that was the only one that was going to catch Tate Kimball on that play. A good open field tackle by him.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the Eagle. They're marking it at the 45. 2 receivers left, 2 right. As now they put Arroyo in motion left to right. He's going to be hit in the backfield, but he does get back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll be a no gain. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 45. So not much there as they put Arroyo in motion from left to right.
Yeah. So 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 from the 45. Yep. Knapp. Now they put Arroyo in motion once again, and he is going to be taken down in the backfield. Knapp is going to be taken down, but Fort Morgan, I believe, was not set. They threw a flag, and I believe they had men in motion, I believe, so they will probably decline that penalty as Knapp was sacked for about a 7-yard loss. So that brings up a 3rd down. I didn't see who that was that came through there, but he was
fast. He got there in a hurry.
From the 47. Actually, it looks like it'll be an 8-yard loss. It'll bring up 3rd and 18. Now we have a stoppage in play. Looks like Fort Morgan is going to call a...
Good job by Dalen on that one to pull the ball down and not lose it, because he was on him before he could set up the pass.
Fort Morgan has taken a timeout, and this timeout is brought to you by Early Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Early Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Early Toyota East.
And I don't know what's going through the coaching staff, but last night, if you watched that Baylor TCU game, it might be a good time to do a little field position thinking instead of trying to make it on 3rd and 18. Just set yourself up for a punt and hold them deep.
So Morgan with 3 receivers to the right, 1 left. Knapp looks for the screen. It's going to be a slip screen to McBride, 50, 45. He gets it back down to about the Eagle 44-yard line. So it's still going to bring up a 4th and long. 4th and 9 for Fort Morgan. Trey McBride hauled that in.
That was a nice catch, and he had a couple options there: throw to McBride or throw to Tate on a wider screen.
So Tate Kimball back in punt formation, and as Pueblo East has Luke Padula and Daniel Martin back about the 15. Nice punt. It's going to be over the head of the receivers, and it's going to go into the end zone for the touchback.
Just a little bit too hard, otherwise would have downed it right there inside the 10.
So that will bring up 1st and 10 Eagles.
So a good, blitz on that 2nd down play sets up Fort Morgan in a hard 3rd and 18, 3rd and 18, and allows the Eagles to get the ball back. And I think that's just the way it's going to go. Both teams are going to grind, and good defensive play is going to kill a drive or a penalty, and then,
See, they got somebody coming out late was Hunter Major. They had a big article in the Fort Morgan paper about him today. It's going to be a handoff over the left side, as that's going to be a gain of about 4 out to the 24. Did not catch who got that. Was that? I think that was Torres.
Yeah, number 3, Torres.
So 2nd and 6. Eagles after that gain of 4. Torres this year averages 109 yards a game.
And that was 10, Daniels. Or Martin, sorry, Daniel Martin.
Martin with the keeper, as he does not gain anything, so it'll be 3rd and 6 once again for the Eagles as Martin on a keeper. I guess they run kind of a option play like we've seen the last 2 weeks. So,
but it was rather strange. He just faked the handoff and then he followed him up and kind of did this weird little sideways leap into the pile instead of cutting outside.
So 2 receivers, right, 1 left. Martin rolls out to his right, being chased out there. It's going to be a pass way downfield, and it's going to be over the intended receiver at about the Mustang 45. So that will bring up a 4th and 6. So nice defensive stand on this opening drive by the Mustangs.
Yeah, that was a very good defensive drive, bringing up 4th and 6. And this deep in their territory, I doubt you'll see any trickery. They're just going to punt it. And Martin does it all. He punts for him as well, looks like.
Yep. He's on the field. He was a 3A state player of the year last year. So you're going to keep him on the field. High snap. Nice kick is going to be taken by Daniels at the Mustang 40-yard line. So that's where the Mustangs will set up camp. Be 1st and 10 Fort Morgan.
Good first defensive stand by Fort Morgan.
8:18 left here in the first period. Fort Morgan now with their 2nd possession.
We were kind of expecting a defensive battle here. And so far, Fort Morgan has 1 first down, and they've helped Pueblo East to none.
Royo goes in motion, sets up out on the left side. It's going to be a handoff to Toby, and he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 2, it looks like, back to the 38. Yeah, we'll call it a loss of, it's hard to tell, loss of.
Yep. I think the bottom line is that Pueblo East defense is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and Fort Morgan's going to have to get those offensive linemen fired up to block a little bit better than they have so far this second drive.
I formation for the Mustangs, receivers left and right. Going to be a fake, and Knapp is being hounded in the backfield, and he is going to be taken down for the sack, as he will be dropped back to the 36. So third and long for the Mustangs as they lose a couple more.
And this is the most physical defensive line that I've seen the Fort Morgan come up against, and it's going to be a struggle and a battle for them, and hopefully they can get something done against this team.
So it brings up 3rd and 14 from their own 36. It's going to be an end around to the left side to Tate Kimball, but he doesn't get much, maybe a yard out to the 37. So that'll bring up a 4th down. 4th and 13 from the 37. So not much running room right now. The best play they had so far was that on that opening drive, the opening play where they busted him outside.
Mm-hmm.
The Pueblo East seems to be getting through that offensive line without a lot of trouble right now. As Tate Kimball stands back at his 25-yard line to wait the snap from Trey McBride for the punt. Snap back, left-footed punt. Going to come down at the 30, 35, 40. Breaks a tackle, 45, breaks another tackle as he gets into Fort Morgan territory. And that is Luke Padula.
He is pretty shifty out there. That's going to set Pueblo East up in much better field position than they had last time. Fort Morgan's defense is going to have to do a job on them again.
So 1st and 10 from the Mustang 49. .6:02 left in the first period. Handoff, no handoff. Martin keeps it. And he gets it down inside the 45. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 44. So that will be a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 44. Yes, Martin ran that keeper up the middle.
That's good offensive combination to have a big, powerful front line and quick, shifty runners in the backfield.
So 3 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun formation. It's going to be a pass over the middle, and it's going to be almost intercepted. It was in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Bruno DeRose. But Kyle Daniels was right there on him, and I think he helped break that pass up. So that will bring up a 3rd and 5 from the 44.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the success they've had running. I guess they have 2 plays for 4 and 5, and then the one where Martin just, I don't think, made the right read. Didn't go for any, and yet they're committed to the pass against Fort Morgan.
So shotgun formation once again. It's going to be a pitch to Torres over on that right side, and nice job over there. I believe that's Jimmy Keller that came up on that tackle, as that is going to bring up 4th down. Going to be a loss of 1 back to the 45, so 4th and 6.
And that kid is a horse, that Torres. He's no small young man.
So that's going to force Pueblo East to punt, snap back. Punt downfield is going to land at about the 20 or about the 18 and bounce back upfield. And it looks like they will put it at the 20-yard line. So Fort Morgan, with their 3rd possession, will start from the 20. No score here early on in the game.
Fort Morgan's just given up that field position that they gained on that first drive by having the nice 29-yard run, and since then it's just slowly moved the line of scrimmage to the south, and which is the left for us.
So snap to Knapp. Little room for Kimball as he will get it out to the 24-yard line. So a gain of 4. So bring up a 2nd and 6 for Fort Morgan.
A little misdirection there, and I think That's one of the things they were looking to do, is catch this overly aggressive Pueblo East defense.
So I formation once again, Knapp under center. As he rolls out to his right. Going to be a pass out here to the sideline, but not much there. They might give him one to the 25. So a gain of 1 as they hit Kyle Daniels on the out pass. So 3rd and 5 for the Mustangs from their own 25-yard line.
That makes him break even. He's 2 for 2 when he's thrown, but he's been sacked twice, a loss of 10 and a gain of 10 overall.
So they're having a little stoppage here. I'm not sure what they're going to put the ball over on the right hash mark instead of the left.
Yeah, he went out of bounds and they put it in the center of the field. I'm not sure why that is.
Now they got the ball relocated at the 25. Oh, and somebody just moved for Fort Morgan. That would be Eric Carrillo. Jumps. That'll set the ball back to the 20.
And that's one of those mistakes we talked about that could kill this drive. 3rd and 5 is a lot easier to make than 3rd and 10, especially against a great defense that East appears to have. And it's been that way all season long. They've played some great defense against a lot of teams.
So Fort Morgan in their I formation. Marquez left, Daniels to the right. Knapp under center, waiting the snap. Gets the snap, hands it off to Kimball on that left side. He breaks it on the outside and gets it across the 20, the 25, the 30. I believe he will have just enough for the first down as he goes out at the 30-yard line. So that will be enough for the first down. So nice run there by Tate Kimball. That seems to be where the open spot is. They have had success twice so far going left.
And that seems to be something that we, kind of noticed all season long. We talked to Coach Chisholm about that at practice on Wednesday, and he's not sure why, because that's the smaller side of the offensive line, but they do run much better to that left side.
Hand off to Kimball around this right side, breaks it outside, 30, across the 35, stiff arm, comes up from behind. He gets it into, not quite into Eagle territory, but he does get it out to the 49, maybe the 50. They look like they're going to mark it right at midfield. So a run of 20 yards for Tate Kimball on that right side. They break it outside, and it's been open for him.
And I think maybe Pueblo is underestimating his speed to the outside. They're playing inside, making sure we can't run inside on him, and that's not what our game is.
My formation once again. It's going to be a handoff counter over to Tate to the left side. Breaks a couple of tackles as he's going to pick up about 4 down to the 46-yard line of the Eagles. So a gain of 4, so 2nd and 6 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, very good drive here. All of a sudden, they've gone from having the ball on their own 20 to being 4 yards into Eagle territory. Even if they can't get this down, they've switched the field position again. And, of course, I'd like to see them break one and get in the score.
So I formation. Going to be a drop back pass down the left side. It's kind of thrown up there. Oh, and in and out of the hands of Marquez. Looked like it was right there. It's kind of a floating duck out there, but
yeah, it did not look like it was going to be successful. But then at the end, the defender never turned around, and Marquez, just let it bounce off his chest instead of getting his hands on it.
It was there. It was there to be had, but we'll bring up now a 3rd and 6 for Fort Morgan. It's going to be a handoff to Tate over the left side, 40. He almost broke it, but he was tripped at about the 40, but he goes down inside the 42, about the 36-yard line.
He's just ripping off big chunks of yards there. 10 on that one, 4 the previous one, then 20, then 10. His first one for 29. They don't seem to have an answer for Tate Kimball at this point.
So 1st and 10 Mustangs as this drive started at their own 20.
It's good to see the offensive line settle down and doing a good job of blocking.
I formation to Tate over that left side again. Nice block out on that left corner. He cuts it back in. There's going to be a flag thrown, though, at about the 32. That may be a hold on Trey.
Yep.
So we'll see where they... It is a hold on Fort Morgan, so that run will come back.
At least the hold happened after he had gained some yards, so it's going to be, looks like 1st and 16 instead of, much worse.
So we'll see where they mark it off from about the 32. So that will take it back to the 42-yard line.
It's a little strange here for those of you who aren't at the game. We're on the east side, and we're behind the Pueblo East bench, but the official scores are on the west side in the press box behind the visiting team, and so the umpire or the referee is always giving the signals to the other side.
So Knapp pitched to Kimball, but he does get on it. I think they're going to say it was a forward pass as they were waving it off, so that will bring up second down.
That was not good. He bobbled the ball on the snap and then almost compounded the error by, throwing the ball off to the side. Luckily, it was just forward enough to be incomplete rather than a fumble, because Pueblo East was quick to get on that. A little bit of snow still falling here, but not very much.
Lights are on here at the field as we do have overcast skies. I formation once again for the Mustangs, 2nd and 16 from the Eagle 42. Drop back, pass down that left side, and looking for it, and just out of the reach of Marquez, I believe. No, that is going to be Luis Garcia out there on that left wide receiver. And just overthrew him by about
he had
3
him
feet.
deep.
So.
Now, I don't know. I just have a kind of crazy strategy. Their quarterback, number 10, is out here in that left corner. I think I would just rotate receivers out here to that side and have them run flies every time. Just make
wear
them out and wear them out. I don't know if anyone thought of that during the season.
We're down to 2:15 here in the first period of play. So he put Arroyo in motion. It's going to be a fake to Arroyo, and Knapp is going to be taken down at the 45. So another sack for the Eagles. That will bring up a 4th down. About 19, looks like.
Yep.
Tate Kimball back in to punt. If we can get a good punt off and tackle him deep. And then Morgan just called for 12 men in the huddle as Anthony Arroyo just ran off the field. So that will set him back another 5.
Too many penalties, I think, already. It's first quarter, and we've had a couple, and they've had a couple.
So 4th and 24. Tate Kimball stands back at his 38-yard line. Pueblo East has a couple of guys back at about the 20. I believe it's Martin. Can't see who the other one is. Low left-footed kick is going to come to Martin at the 20. Across the 25, 30, 35. He's out into the open at the 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. And Daniel Martin is going to take it back for the touchdown as he takes it 80 yards.
Well, that's not what we needed. I think we probably didn't want to punt to him, but we punted to the tight side of the field where we'd have coverage, and he is a shifty runner.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that.
Touchdown East on the 80-yard punt return.
Of course, Fort Morgan was behind at Palisade. They went down and, no, they never did score. It was against Pueblo County. They went down and scored and Fort Morgan was able to respond and not, panic. And I'm sure no one on the Mustang side is panicking at this point.
So the point after is good with 1:19 left here in this first period of play. We will take a short break and be back with more Mustang football on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Back here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo, the Eagles have just gone up on the Mustangs 7-0 as Daniel Martin takes it back 80 yards on the punt return. Looked like they had a chance at him on that far side, but couldn't quite bring him down. Now it's going to be a kickoff to Daniels as he takes it at the 5, goes cross field at the 10. It's going to be hit hard and maybe back to about the 14-yard line. So a long field for the Mustangs as they will start at the 14, be first and 10, 14 Mustangs.
And I just sense that Pueblo East is really firing up and getting the momentum. And Fort Morgan's got to get a couple plays here and get that momentum back. So we'll see what the coach's answer to that is.
They seem to do fairly good getting about 10 yards deep into East territory and then haven't been able to go any farther. Handoff to Tate Kimball over this left side. He tries to cut it up the middle, but he is going to be hit for about a 2-yard gain out to the 16. Not much running room up the middle. 2nd and 8 from the 16.
And Pueblo East finishes with about 8 guys on top of them, piling them back and throwing them to the ground violently. And I'm sure that's part of their intimidation, tough defensive type of play.
I formation. Handoff to Kimball over that left side. He's going to be hit in the backfield. And that's going to be a loss of maybe 3 back to the 13. Trying to see who that was in there. Was it Hunter Major, number 7, that was in there? But they swarmed to the ball, that's for sure.
They seem to have the answer this time.
So 3rd down.
First loss of yardage for Tate on the day.
Looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 10. From the 14 as they set up in the I formation, receivers left and right. And we have is that the end of the first quarter? I can't see
it is the end of the first quarter.
Okay, end of the first quarter. Pueblo East 7. Your Fort Morgan Mustangs nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 3rd and 10, Fort Morgan. A pitch to Arroyo as he gets across the 20, 25, and he will have enough for the first down. Nice job by Anthony Arroyo and good blocks out on this left side. Pick up the first down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that was a huge run by Arroyo to get us out of that hole and keep things moving.
As he got it out to the 28.
Looks like maybe they're giving Tate a little bit of a break. He had some hard runs there.
Arroyo in the eye, going to be pitched to Arroyo out on that right side, follow behind Toby, but to have a receiver or a defender come in from the outside, there's also a flag. So it sits out about the 30. That's going to be holding against Fort Morgan. Trying to see what I would guess they would probably march him back. That would be a 2-yard gain. So we'll see what looks like they're going to march it off. So that'll bring up first down from the 20. So a 8-yard loss on the penalty. So that brings up a 1st and 18 from the 20.
Yeah, they're at the 28, weren't they? Somehow had the 32.
So high formation once again. Pitch to Arroyo out on this left side as he busts it outside. Gets it down to maybe about the 20, out to the 21 as Luke Padula runs him down. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 22. It'll be a gain of 2. So 2nd and 16 from the 22. So we'll see what Fort Morgan come up with here and get at least half of this yardage on this run. I formation once again for the Mustangs. Receivers left and right. Knapp rolls out to his right. It's going to be a pass out here to the left, but it's going to be in and out of the hands of Kyle Daniel. Just a little tall for him on that far side. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 16. They had 2 or 3 guys out, and they had Trey running down the middle.
Right. They had some good coverage. No one was wide open.
Arroyo goes out. See what they've... One receiver left. 3 to the right. Toby sets up in the backfield with the pass out here to the out to the flat out in the right, but not much there. And they might have given him 1.
Right out to the 23.
So they'll bring up a 4th and 15 from the 23. That's a long pass to get set up out there and try to get any yardage, especially as fast as Pueblo East is. So it'll bring up a 4th and 15 from the 23 as Tate Kimball back once again. Martin stands back at about his own 42. Snap back. Left-footed boot by Kimball. Going to come down at the 40. Comes across the field here. And gets it across the 50, the 45, the 40, 35, 30.
And we have a penalty back here.
We have a blindside block
right
back here at the 40-yard line. I didn't see who they... Was that Anthony? That's Anthony Arroyo.
Yeah, we have a blindside block, and we have Pueblo East going out there and just hot dogging and patting each other on the back, thinking that they're really cool that they were able to cheap shot someone like that, and a 15-yard penalty added on to the end of that play. Rosales, it was Rosales.
Oh, okay, Frank Rosales. So that will be 1st and 10 for Pueblo East, but it will mark them back 15 yards from the 39.
Of course, the Pueblo East fans, they enjoy seeing a good hit just like anybody else. They just got to realize that you can't go to the head and you can't come from the blind side like that. Personal foul. And they're booing, but football isn't about hurting people. It's about playing good and within the rules.
Yep, so that will take it back to the 24. So 1st and 10, Eagles from the 24. As they set up in an I formation, 1 receiver left, 1 right. Martin under center. It's going to be a handoff up the middle and not much there. We're going to see if that was Torres with the carry as he gets it out to the 26. So it'll be a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 Eagles.
And just like that, after Pueblo East has that illegal block, the fans are getting chippy and unfortunate that they can't just let the kids play within the rules.
So 2nd down and 8 Mustangs, I formation as they set up Torres deep in the backfield behind DeRose. And he is going to be taken down in the backfield on the sack by Toby McBride.
And I think that was going to be a pass, wasn't that?
I believe so. I think he was starting to roll out to his left, then he tried to cut back to the right, but Toby McBride was in his way, and that is going to be back to the 18-yard line.
That's a huge 8-yard loss there.
So 3rd and 16 from the 18. They're going to set up 3 receivers to the right. As he is hit once again in the backfield, like he was going to pass. And that time it's Nate Cage on the hit, as he is going to take Martin down at the, where are we at? We're back at the 13-yard line, so loss of 5. So nice job there by Nate Cage. So That'll bring up 4th and long. Nice deep punt. Going to come down to Daniels at the 50. He tries to juke around, and he's going to end up going down at the Eagle 45, 47 yard line in there someplace.
Best starting position for Fort Morgan on the day, I believe.
So we'll see where they finally put it. They will put it at the 46. So 1st and 10 Fort Morgan. As they trail 7-0 with 7:52 left to go here in the first half.
You know, Pueblo East, that's their third 3 and out. They have not gotten a first down. Their only score was on that punt return. Fort Morgan has much more success moving the ball up and down the field.
So double wing formation for the Mustangs as they put Daniels in motion. Looks like he looks to pass, left-handed pass down the left side of the field and trying to hit Tate Kimmel, but it was over his head and out of the reach and falls harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, they didn't really have him fooled. It didn't even look like the receiver downfield was expecting it.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10. Be nice to be able to take it in from here and not waste this
Absolutely.
field position. Go back to the I formation. Marquez left, Daniels right. Tate Kimball on the carry over this left side. Has little room out here, and he is going to, I thought he went down, but he breaks it at the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown for Morgan, as it looks like Pueblo East had given up, thought he had gone down. But once he broke that tackle, he takes it in from 46 yards out for the touchdown.
That's an awesome play by Tate Kimball, just not giving up. You know, even though he's getting pounded by 4 or 5 guys every time when he's going down, he just keeps fighting. And to make that touchdown, that's just awesome.
So that comes with 7:33 to go here in the first half of play. Franny Gonzalez in now for the point after try. Waits for the snap. Snap is back. The placement is down. The kick is up. And it is good. So with 7:33 left to go, Fort Morgan 7, Pueblo East 7 on 1010 KSIR, B106, and B106.com. Brian Nichols, Kevin Rohde back here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo as the Mustangs have tied this up at 7 with 7:33 to go as Tate Kimball takes it in from 46 yards out. Great individual effort as he was hit about the 45-yard line or so, broke that tackle, and then went on down this near side and into the end zone.
We'll try and get you scores. I hear the PA announcer announcing some Delta Roosevelt score, but the important one here is that the Fort Morgan Mustangs bounce back and score on offense and been able to hold Pueblo East to 3 3-and-outs.
So kickoff comes down at the 10, the 15, the 20, 25, cuts back. Padula across the 35, 40, cuts it back up into the middle as he is tripped out there. I think he tripped on his own as he is going to go down at about the Mustang 46-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out some way to kick that shorter or something. I don't know. They have a lot of good return men.
So it brings up an excellent field position for the Eagles with 7:23 left here, first period of play, first quarter of play, or first half of play. I'll get the first right here yet.
They had it on the 49, so they're about 3 yards deeper into Fort Morgan territory than they did last time, but Fort Morgan's been able to shut them down every time on offense.
So shotgun formation, all the backs in the backfield. It's going to be a keeper handoff up the middle to Torres as he gets it down to the 40. So that'll be a gain of 6. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 4.
His best run of the day on his 4th carry.
So we'll see what the Mustangs, they can shut him down here once again. As he sits back in a shotgun formation, but all the backs, he's right in the middle of the backs. It's going to be a handoff to Torres once again, but we have a flag.
That procedure
On the Eagles. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 9 from the 45. So we'll see.
Both teams continue to just kind of make some errors there.
Kind of shoot themselves in the foot. Pueblo East breaks the huddle as they have receivers left and right. Shotgun formation once again, but backs in the backfield. It's going to be a keeper by Martin this time, but he is going to be taken down at the 45. I believe that was Toby McBride that took him down on that play. So that brings up a 3rd and 9 once again.
So far, Martin, their star quarterback, that's done so much as the season's gone along. He has passed twice for incompletes, been sacked twice for loss of 13, and ran 3 times for a total of 5 yards. So we're doing a really good job on him. And Torres, too, has got 4 carries for a total of 11 yards.
So 3 receivers right. Martin rolls out to his right. Pass is going to be complete at the 32, and then he is going to be taken down at the 25-yard line, and I believe that was Luke Padula?
Number 14?
No, number 14. That would be Joe Padula.
Luke Padula. You're right, number 4.
Okay.
I had the wrong number on that.
So that brings up a 1st and 10 from the Mustang 25. 3 receivers left as Martin rolls out to his left, looks downfield. It's going to be a deep pass down the left sideline, but over the head of the intended receiver, Bruno DeRose. Alex Maya and Frank Rosales in the backfield trying to get to Martin, but that comes up short, so an incomplete pass brings up a 2nd and 10.
And DeRose was deep, but as we talked last week, rolling out to your left for a right-handed quarterback, it's not always easy to deliver an accurate pass.
So 2nd and 10. Pueblo East. As now they have receivers, 3 right, 1 left, shotgun formation. It's going to be a keeper by Martin over that left side, but he is hit immediately by Trey McBride and Jacob Fritzler. As he gets it down to the 23, looks like it could be a gain of 2. To bring up a 3rd and 8. So nice job there by the linebackers.
I'm guessing they'll go back to the pass, as that seems to be where they're having the most success at this early junction.
3 receivers right. Martin in the shotgun formation. Snap back. He rolls out to his right, looks downfield. It's going to be a pass that's going to come up incomplete at about the 12-yard line. And they were looking for John Arona. So that will bring up a 4th and 8.
Of course, at this point, in a 7-7 ball game at the 23-yard line, there's not a lot of advantage to punting. They don't have a field goal kicker, so if we can hold them here, it'll be Fort Morgan ball going back the other way. They did earn a 1st down on a pass play this series.
So we'll see what they... Looks like they're going to try a field goal from the 30. That'll be a 40-yard attempt.
Yes, the way the guy kicked off on kickoff. So I don't think
a timeout called by Pueblo East, so they're going to think about it.
Certainly wasn't going to fool Fort Morgan. They had their defense in there anyway, and they're not going to go put a punt block team in or something. They're going to play it straight up.
So we'll go back to the first Fort Morgan score of the game was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. They are on the cutting edge of banking. Stop by 321 Ensign and see what options they have available. Morgan Federal Bank, there is a difference. So a tight defensive battle here in Pueblo as we expected.
We did expect, a defensive struggle, and just seems like go ahead.
Looks like they're going to come out and go for it on 4th down as Martin is back out there, and so is Torres, and also 3 receivers to the left. is in the shotgun formation. Looks like maybe they're trying to draw Fort Morgan off sides, but it's still fourth and 8. Snap back to Martin as he looks downfield. Pass over to the left side. It's going to be in and out of the hands of Padula on that left side.
Turn it over on downs. Fort Morgan's offense coming back in, and that's just, imagine this team that Pueblo East has running a quarterback that's ran for, I don't know, was it 1,500 yards? Maybe not quite that much. Thrown for a bunch. Another running back that's gone 1,000, and they've gotten one first down, and we're sitting at 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes left in the first half.
So bring up 1st and 10 from the 23 for the Mustangs. I formation once again with 4:48 to go. Handoff to Kimball over this left side, and not much running room there as he is going to be taken down at about the 20-yard line. So that's going to be a loss of 3. So 2nd and 13 from the 20.
And if they punt again, I hope that he can get a little more air in it. Those last couple punts have really been line drives, and that just sets them up to get a lot of yards before you even get down there, and it's harder to cover. Sorry.
So it looks like they're going to set up in the I formation once again on this near hash. Dalen drops back to pass. He is going to be sacked at about the 15-yard line. Just can't take that much time with this kind of a defense.
Yeah, well, I'd call that a coverage sack because he looked downfield and everybody was covered, and wisely he didn't throw an interception and just ate the ball. But a loss of 5 yards is not good either.
So they'll bring up 3rd and 18 from the just outside the 15. Daniel split wide to the right. I formation once again for the Mustangs. Marquez split left. He waits for the snap. Knapp goes back. It's going to be a screen pass to Tate at about the 15. Breaks the tackle, but he is going to be tackled well short of the first down. Does get it out to the 21, so he gets a few yards back. That will bring up a punting situation for the Mustangs.
Does a really good job of covering those screens that Pueblo East is doing. That was just a one-on-one open field tackle by a linebacker on Tate Kimball.
Tate back at about his 8-yard line. Now we're having a stoppage of play.
Timeout by Fort Morgan, looks like.
Fort Morgan is taking a timeout. So we will take one with them. 7-7 here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo on 1010 KSIR, B106, and B106.com. Brian Nichols and Kevin Rody back here in Pueblo at Dutch Clark Stadium through a semifinal game between the Eagles of Pueblo East and the Mustangs of Fort Morgan. Still a cloudy, overcast, chilly day, but no wind. Snap back to Tate. Kind of a end-over-end kick last about the 50. Going up that left sideline at the 40, 45. He stepped out of bounds at the Mustang 40-yard line. And that was Luke Padula.
He's got some wheels. They haven't thrown to him too many times. He's got one catch for 20 yards.
2:35 left here in the first half.
Good field position again. Now they're all the way down to Morgan's 40-yard line. Last time they were able to get down to the 23 before their stall drive. So Fort Morgan's defense once again is going to answer, or is going to have to answer and stop this powerful offense again.
So shotgun formation as they put Padula in motion left to right, but it's going to be a handoff to Torres up the middle as he gets it down inside the 40 to about the 47. He's just inside the 48. We'll call it the 47, so it'll be a gain of 3.
Tough running for him. He's only got one run that's over 5 yards. 4 other carries held to less than 5.
So 3 receivers left, 1 right as they put Padula in motion once again, but it's going to be a drop back and a pass down the center of the field. It's going to be intercepted, though, by the Mustangs as Angelo Rivera steps in front of that pass from Daniel Martin. Nice defense there by the Mustangs as they will now take over deep in their own territory, but they do have the ball at about the 12-yard line.
But only a minute and 52 seconds to waste off that clock and go into half. Tied 7-7 against the number 1 seed in the state, who's scored and got in position on special teams. That's a pretty good result, I would say.
Yep. So 1st and 10 Mustangs. Handoff to Tate Kimball over that right side. And not much running room there. As they will maybe get one out of that. So the Mustangs bring up about a 2nd and 9.
Tate's 13th carry of the game. He's definitely been the workhorse. Toby's only carried it once.
So I formation once again for the Mustangs. Handoff to Tate Kimball as he breaks it up the middle. Gets a few yards out to the 18-yard line. As we're down to a minute 8 left here in the first half of play.
Brings up a manageable 3rd and 3.
So nice job by Tate. They do have a play clock in the end zone, so we can see how much time they have left on their play. But it's going to be a 3rd and 3 I formation. It's going to be a handoff to Tate around this left side. Hit initially at the 15, and he is going to be brought down maybe for a loss of 1 back to the 17. We'll see if they...
And Pueblo does call a timeout to force Fort Morgan to punt one more time.
Save a little time on their clock. It will be at the 18. I guess it was a no loss there. He did get back to the...
And I think Tate's going to be a sore young man by the end of this game. Cold as it is and taking a lot of big hits, but man, he's working hard for the Mustang offense, and here he's going to be called on to punt. My guess is that they're going to angle it out of bounds and maybe give Pueblo East 1 or 2 Hail Mary passes down to end the half.
So Fort Morgan comes back out of their huddle. We're down to 30 seconds left in the clock. In the first half, we are at a 7-7 tie. See who they have back. Looks like that's Padula standing back at about midfield waiting for the punt from Kimball.
They got a lot of guys on the line, like maybe they're going to try and get to this and block it.
They were close last time. So we'll see if it's a good snap. He can get it off. Nice snap. Kick is up and
looks like it was blocked, partially blocked, because they hit him and the referee was right there pointing to the block. So
they're going to say it went out at the Mustang. Let's see where they finally come down with it. The 36, 35. So 1st and 10 Eagles.
Out at the 38, looks like they finally settled
back
on.
at the 38, okay. So 1st and 10
24
Eagles.
seconds left. I imagine they'll try and get it down in the end zone a couple times. Maybe we can get a sack, get a fumble, and
pick it up and run it in for the touchdown.
Rumble on down.
So 3 receivers right, 1 left as Martin rolls out to his right, looks downfield. It's going to be a pass. It's going to be complete as he goes out of bounds to Padula at about the 28-yard line, I believe. 29. So a 19-yard pass there.
Just 9 at 2nd and 1.
I'm sorry. I can't count.
Sometimes difficult to see those.
So we'll bring up 2nd and 1 from the 29. Oh, I thought he started from the 48.
Took 6 seconds off the clock is all, so do that 4 more times and they'll end their drive just out of the end zone.
3 receivers left. It's going to be a keeper by Martin, but he is going to be brought down as he was trying to run it to the left. And Pueblo East will call another timeout.
trying to be tricky and get this Fort Morgan offense that sometimes is a little over aggressive and over pursues to maybe do a hard pass rush and trick him. But he comes up holding his hand like maybe he got a little bit of rubbing on the turf when he went down with that ball.
I didn't see who was all in there. I think it might have been Trey and Toby. I'm not for sure. And on that tackle, as they do have it, take him back for a loss back to the 31, so that'll be a loss of 2. Bring up a 3rd and 3 with 13 seconds left.
And as far as that goes, when you have a star athlete like that, sometimes when you just shut him down, his frustration level goes up and he starts trying to overperform, and maybe Fort Morgan can take advantage and get him to make a mistake and play outside of himself.
So they're sending 2 receivers left. Shotgun formation as Martin drops back. Going to be a pass down this right sideline try to get it in the end, but it's going to be intercepted by the Mustangs. Nate Gertner intercepts it for the Mustangs to end that drive. So nice job there by the Mustangs to finish out this half as we are down to 6 seconds in a 7-7 tie.
Yeah, great play by Nate Gertner. Heard through the grapevine as the week went along that he was excited about getting to play against Padula. That Padula he saw as a quality receiver and was excited about the opportunity to play against one of the best in the state.
So Pueblo East went for it all, but Fort Morgan will kneel on it and bring this first half to an end as we sit at 7-7 in a defensive battle here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo. We will be back with the B&B Appliance halftime show in 3 minutes on 1010 KSIR and B106.com. Kickoff is going to be down to the 10, across the 15, the 20. It goes across field, and there should be a flag, and it's going to come back. He's going across the 30, 35, 40, and finally bounced out of bounds. But Jimmy Keller was knocked in the back at the 20-yard line. So that'll be marked back from the 20, so that'll be a 1st and 10 Pueblo East from the 10.
And that'll put them in a huge hole as little offense as they've been able to generate.
Let's see, that was returned by Dusty Biggers, I believe, is who the return man was on that. So let's see if they throw a flag on them. They just huddled with 12, but
too busy
nobody
administering
noticed,
the flag, I guess.
So Pueblo East 1st and 10 from their 10. Shotgun formation, 1 receiver left. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and not much there as he handed it off to Torres. And he gets it maybe just on the outside of the 10. We're going to say no gain. That's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 10.
And that deep in their territory, they're not going to, imagine they're not going to get too fancy and try and run anything too fast. They're showing highlights of the punt return that went in for a touchdown on the Jumbotron.
So keeper by Martin out here on this left side, and he drags a couple of players, might get a yard out to the 11.
He's got to be getting frustrated. As soon as he takes the hand off, he's now pointing at receivers, telling them they're supposed to be doing blocking. He's got 3 guys on him. That's the same kind of great defense that Fort Morgan had last week against Palisade.
Fort Morgan quick to the ball.
Give them 1 on that 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 from the 11. So now they send 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Torres in the backfield with Martin. Snap, it's going to be handed off to Torres, and not much there. She may get it out to the 13.
I don't know what the design on that play was, but he had a huge hole on this side to the right, and he just turned it up and went left and went lateral, and Fort Morgan able to jump on him and hold him to just a couple yards.
So they'll bring up a 4th and 7 from the 13 Daniels stands back at about the 47. End over end. Kick's going to hit, and Daniels is going to take it at the 50. And he's not going to get much farther than that. Gets it down maybe to the 48, but they're going to say he went back on his own to the 50-yard line.
Great defensive start for Fort Morgan. Let's see how the offense responds now to warming up at halftime.
So 1st and 10 from midfield. With 9:56 left. 3rd period. As Fort Morgan lines up I formation. Going to be a handoff to Toby. Not much there up the middle. Pretty stout interior defense for Pueblo East. So that brings up a 2nd and 10 from midfield.
Got to try that once in a while and keep them honest and keep them respecting Toby, but they seem to have a game plan that they're going to stop Toby because they're backing it inside, and our best running's gone to the side.
So I formation, Daniels left, Marquez to the right with Knapp under center. It's going to be a handoff to Tate up the middle, breaks the tackle, 45-40. He breaks another tackle down to the 35-30, 25-20, and drugged down. Looks like it should have been another horse collar tackle, but nothing. He might have had his hand on the outside of the shirt. So big run there by Tate Kimball as he takes it down to the 17-yard line.
33-yard scamper, and if he could have just beat that last guy, he would have gone all the way in.
So I formation once again. Daniels left, Marquez to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Toby up the middle once again as he breaks a couple of tackles. Looks like he might have got to the 15 for a gain of 2. So the Mustangs 2nd and 8 from the 15.
That time they weren't able to bring Toby down. He stood his ground and lost momentum, and they had to blew the whistle, and they weren't able to get him to the ground.
So see if Fort Morgan can punch this in. Now they're going to put Marquez to the left and Daniels right. I formation once again for the Mustangs is going to be a play action, but Knapp drops the ball as he is hit, and he is going to be sacked. Clear back outside the 20, about to the 21. Let's see where they do. They're going to put it at the 22. So 3rd and about 15.
And that's the 4th sack of the day for Fort Morgan. They just don't seem to be able to have enough time to throw that ball.
So now Marquez. And that time Marquez left the field, no flag. So full house backfield. They put Toby in motion. He sets up out as a wing out to the left. It's going to be a pitch, though, to Arroyo. He is going to be not dropped down 25 as he gets it down inside the 25. He had to backpedal a little bit as he was, as the right side of that defense made some penetration.
I think he ended up with 1 yard after all that effort.
So 4th and 14 from the 21. As it looks like Fort Morgan will go for it. I don't see that Franny has come in. That would be a... Looks like Fort Morgan is going to call timeout. Right now, Franny is coming onto the field, but we will check that out after this timeout on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian Nichols, Kevin Rohde here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo as Franny Gonzalez has come out. He will be kicking from the left hash. It will be a 38-yard attempt as he gets the tee set. The holder is Dalen Knapp. So we'll see if he can get this through. Nice kick is going to be up, and it looks like it is good. They're saying no good.
Oh, just to the side, just to the side.
Just to the left.
And you would think Pueblo East just won the state title the way they're cheering over a missed field goal, but I guess that's the hometown crowd. You want to give them a chance to be happy about something.
So it was plenty long, but just to the left it looked like.
Yeah, and that would have given Fort Morgan a little bit of, the first lead of the game and a little bit of a plus, but still Fort Morgan's offense is just driving down the ball, or driving down the field and doing well.
So 1st and 10 for Pueblo East, and they will take over at their 20, and that first play is going to be a loss of 2 back to the 18. They'll bring up a 2nd and 12.
Was that just up the middle to Torres?
Torres had it.
Yeah, I think Fort Morgan's defense is starting to feel it now, and they're just taking it to those offensive linemen.
So 2 receivers left, 2 right. Martin, they send a man in motion from right to left. He breaks it across the 25, the 30, the 35. Oh, the ball has come loose, and no, he got it back. I thought it had come loose there for a minute. But he does get it out across the 40 to about the 41 on that end around. I believe that was Jeremiah.
That was Padua, wasn't it? Number 4. That's who I thought it was.
It
but
could have been.
Nice run.
And they bring up a 1st and 10 from the 41 for the Eagles. They put a man in motion. It's going to be a handoff over the left side to Torres. He breaks it across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and Torres takes it in to the end zone for the touchdown.
First offensive touchdown for Pueblo East. Nice 59-yard scamper. They had a kid, too, was catching up with him. Who was that?
That was
Austin Breedenbach almost caught up with him, but I think he jumped a little bit too soon to try and get that. He was only going to get him at the 2 or 3 anyway. So
as Torres broke that over that left side, it was open. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So that will put Pueblo East up now 14-7. With 6:13 to go here in the third period. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Back here at Dutch Clark Stadium in Pueblo, the Pueblo East Eagles have just gone ahead of the Mustangs 14-7 as Bryson Torres takes it 59 yards. PAT is good.
On those 2 plays, they got more yardage on those last 2 running plays than they had the entire game. And,
it was an 80-yard drive in 2 plays. 3 plays.
Yep. That 1 for loss.
Kick down to the 10, the 15, the 20. Kyle Daniels out to the 25. And they will be just short of the 30, I believe. We'll see where they end up putting 28. It down, about the 28-yard line.
So Fort Morgan's going to have to answer and trying to get the momentum back.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan. From the 28-yard line.
And I can't imagine there's any panic in Fort Morgan. They've played really well to this point, and a couple plays have gotten them.
I formation, pitch back to Tate. Gets it up to the 30, across the 30. And the ball has been taken away by Pueblo East. I don't know if it was fumbled or if they just took it out of his hands, but they ended up with it out at about the 41-yard line.
And they're all talking to decide what they think, because there may have been a whistle earlier or something.
May have seen that he was down. It was on the far side from where we are and couldn't really see what was. Maybe they're showing it up on the scoreboard. I don't know. They're showing up on their.
They're giving it to Pueblo East.
So we'll see what they. Yep, we'll see. It's a fumble by Fort Morgan. and picked up.
When we talked about the ball control and fumbles, that's the first turnover by Fort Morgan, and boy, if Pueblo East is able to capitalize on this, it's going to be a long road back for Fort Morgan in the waning minutes of the third and quarter and fourth quarter.
So handoff to Torres once again, but he is hit hard in the backfield. That was that was Trey, I believe.
Trey lit him up. That was a great tackle there for a loss, or I guess no gain. Just stopped him right in there in the hole.
So 2nd and 10 for Pueblo East as they are up 14-7 here with just under 6 minutes left in the third period. As they take over after a fumble by Tate Kimball. It's going to be a pitch to Torres around this right side, and he is going to be brought down for maybe a yard gain. And that looks like that was Tyler Dunn in on the play along with Toby. So they'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for Pueblo East from the 40-yard line. Nice pursuit there as the Mustangs strung that play out.
Their defensive ends are really doing a good job of setting the edge and forcing them all the way out of bounds or having to turn back in.
So now 3 receivers to the left. Martin and Torres in the backfield. Snap back as Martin rolls out to his left to look downfield. Still looking, it's going to be a throw, but it's going to be out of bounds as he throws the ball away.
Yeah, there's no one open there. Great defense downfield by the Mustangs, and Pueblo East is going to have to punt at 4th and 9. His first pass of the second half. Of course, we've only had 3 drives, and we're already down to 4.5 minutes left.
Quick moving game as both teams are dominantly running teams. But Martin stands back just at midfield. Oh, a terrible kick out of bounds to the right. We'll see where they finally end up marking it out. Come on, it's up farther than that.
Oh, it looked that was a bad spot. That's about where it landed out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it was 10 yards out of bounds where it landed.
They're saying it's at the 25, and it looked like it was, it landed, the 10 yards out of bounds, so it should have been more like up about the 30. But anyway, that is where Fort Morgan will take over 1st and 10 from the 25.
And a great job by the defense to come in after that short turnover and just stuff Pueblo East and hold them to 1 yard on 3 plays.
So high formation, handoff to Kimball over that right side as he has a little room. Gets about 3 yards.
A good job by the offensive coaching staff to give that ball right back to Tate, after fumbling it on the previous down. How many times has he carried that ball? And I can't remember him fumbling the ball hardly at all.
No. So he did pick up 4 as he gets it out to the 29, so bring up 2nd and 6. Now double wing formation for the Mustangs. It's going to be a end around to Tate Kimball, but he is going to be met in the backfield by Bruno DeRose. And that will be a loss back to the 25, back to the original line of scrimmage. So a 3rd and 10 coming up for Fort Morgan. No room on that right side. They're just too quick. They just come through there. They're a fast defense. They just penetrated that right side of that Morgan offense. Now we have 2 receivers left, 2 right. Snap back to Knapp as he rolls out to his right. His pass is going to be short, almost intercepted on the dive by Pueblo East.
And that was a lucky thing there that it did fall incomplete because there were 3 defenders that all had better position on it than Trey.
So that brings up a 4th and 10 from the 25. I would say momentum is now in the lap of the Pueblo East Eagles.
Let's see if they figured out how to punt it to someone, that can't run the ball back. Kick it out of bounds, kick it high and shorter, do something.
So Martin and Padula stand back inside their 45. Snap back to Kimball. Nice kick as it's going to go. Hits about the 42 and rolls out of bounds. They're going to mark it right at the 40-yard line of Pueblo East. So they will take over once again, 1st and 10. See how much time they have here. 2:56 to go here in the third period.
Pretty good field position. Their own 40-yard line. Fort Morgan needs to have a 3 and out again. Hold them.
3 and out. Turnover. Get something here to. As they have 2 receivers to the right, they send a man in motion, but it's going to be a handoff to Torres, as he's going to get about 5 out of that. That's what he scored on that last one.
Mm-hmm.
As he fakes that handoff as the back coming from the left and hands off to Torres, kind of a counter back to the left. So that was a gain of 5, 2nd and 5 from the 45 for the Eagles. 2 receivers right once again, 2 left. Shotgun formation as they put a man in motion, but it's going to be a keeper by Martin around the left side as he breaks it and gets down to the 42-yard line of Fort Morgan. So they're finding some running room over on that left side.
And his first double-digit run of the game, although he did have the punt return for a touchdown earlier. He's quite an athlete, this young man, Martin from Pueblo East. But I think he's going to end the day frustrated on how well Fort Morgan played defense against him and really held him.
Slight moment stoppage here as they got the change set, but that will bring up a 1st and 10 from the Morgan 42. Bring the man in motion again, left to right, and it's going to be a keeper by Martin up the middle, gets across the 40, 35, 30, and he is tripped up at about the 32 by Frank Rosales.
That's more the style of offense that I saw when I watched some highlights of them. You know, it's more that, the motion, jet, sweep, fake, type of thing that they had success, and they kind of got away from that and never really ran that until now, maybe when they feel like they need it.
So we got it down to the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 east from the 28. Man in motion again. It's going to be a handoff to Torres, breaks 1 tackle, and he's going to get it down maybe to the 26. We'll see where they finally put it. Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 27, so a gain of 1. So 2nd and 9 for East as they lead this game 14-7 with 1:16 left here, third period. They seem to be controlling this clock right now with their running. They're set 2 men to the right, 2 left once again. Martin sets up in the backfield. They put a man in motion. It's going to give it to that man coming around this right side. He busted outside the 25-20 and down to about the 16-yard line. Nice hit by Angelo Rivera to knock him out of bounds, but it will be enough for a 1st down as they get it down. They're going to mark him out at, the 15-yard line.
Yep, that was a nice run. 25, a player that we hadn't called yet.
Dusty Biggers.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 East from the 15. They bring him in motion once again, left to right. It's going to be a keeper by Martin out on that left side. He gets across the 15, down inside not quite to the 10. Maybe to the 11.
And he's kind of a jitterbug. You can't just hit him. You've got to wrap him up, and several Fort Morgan players bounced off of him, and he kept his feet and gained more yards.
So a gain of 4, so bring up a 2nd and 6. From the 11.
I don't know if Fort Morgan's defense is just wearing out or whether Pueblo East is calling a different series of plays that's confusing them, but they're really not playing very well this series.
Man in motion again, left to right. It's going to be a handoff to Torres up the middle. He'll get it across the 10 down to about the 8. And that has brought us to the end of the third period with Pueblo East up 14-7 over the Mustangs on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel with Kevin Rohde here at Dutch Clark Field in Pueblo with first and goal for Pueblo East from the 8. They put a man in motion. It's going to be a pass wide open in the end zone was Bruno DeRose as Fort Morgan was playing the run. And DeRose into the end zone for the touchdown, as that will, the PAT is good. We'll put Fort Morgan down by 2 scores.
And they just went back to that same thing that they've been running, having success. Fort Morgan getting aggressive and playing, the run, and just slip that receiver into the end zone.
After is good.
So Fort Morgan's going to have to find an answer here, down 2 scores to a very good defensive team. But they do get the ball back, and they do have a full almost 12 minutes to go. It only took 2 seconds off the play clock for that play.
So Fort Morgan with some work to do. The head coach of the Pueblo East Eagles is Lee Meisner. He played his high school football up at Sterling and probably knows Fort Morgan pretty well, plus also getting to watch a lot of film. But a local boy down here at Pueblo coaching the East Eagles.
Yep. The other side of the playoffs, Delta has now rebounded, and it's 22-10 Roosevelt over Delta. Platte Valley still down 21-6 to Bayfield in the 2A playoff, and Buena Vista's pulled it close. It's 20-14, Paonia leading Buena Vista.
So kickoff is going to be, it's going to go out of bounds. It was touched. I think they're going to change that because it was touched by a Morgan. We'll see what they say. It was touched and then gone out of bounds at about the 2. Maybe because it wasn't controlled, but it was not. It looked like, to me, it looked like Anthony Arroyo hit it with one hand. So we'll see what the Pueblo East coaches are screaming at the refs. We're going to see. It looks like they're going to put it out about the 2 or 3 yard line. So a mistake there by Anthony Arroyo as he runs over and tries to. I don't know, he tried to catch it or what he was trying to do, but it was out of his reach. He just hit it with his hand. So we'll see what the refs end up doing here. It will be Fort Morgan ball, but be first and.
And now we're going to get an announcement.
Yeah, looks like they're going to put it at the 20, I believe. Let's see if we can.
Let's explain it to the Pueblo East coach, who's not going to believe no matter what he says. And a penalty. Maybe a re-kick.
By rule, we have a muff kick. Force super kick. Upside. We have a kick out of bounds. It'll be placed on the 35.
So obviously it was going out of bounds, and there was no way he could keep it from going out of bounds. And by rule, they give it to Fort Morgan on the 35. Boy, that will be a controversial call if Morgan is able to come back and win this game.
So first and 10, Fort Morgan from their own 35.
Well, they've got 65 yards to go, and then do it again in
just under 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So I formation for the Mustangs. Handoff to Tate Kimball over that left side. He kind of cuts up to the middle, and not much running room there as he gets maybe a yard, maybe 2. We'll see where they finally put it down. The Pueblo East defense, Fort Morgan is hurrying up to the line. They give him 2 out to the 37. So second and 8. Mustangs I formation. Toby up the middle. Not much there as he may get it to the 34. And the gain of, 34. Out to the 39.
Right.
Gain of 2. So third and 6. Daniel split wide left. Marquez comes right, I formation. It's going to be a a fake, but Dalen Knapp is going to go down in the backfield on the sack. Go back inside the 35, back to the 33-yard line. It'll be a loss of 6.
And you really can't go for it at this point, even though you're right on that edge in high school football where you're going to have to go for it if it was another 3-4 minutes into the game.
So our passes are, I don't know if it's just too deep or just not getting enough time to let Knapp set up. They're just coming in off that right side.
And 6 sacks on the game. Obviously, someone's breaking down on the offensive line.
So it brings up a 4th and 12 from the 33. Snap back to Kimball. Puts that left foot into it, end over end. It's going to bounce at the 30. Going to be taken about the 25, but he was out of bounds. That was Padula as he stepped out.
Cry about it, but why would the official call you out if you weren't out?
Yeah.
Does no good to turn to the official and complain. He's not going to call it if it wasn't the case.
So 1st and 10, Pueblo East from the 23. So Fort Morgan will have to come up with a big 3 and out here and get some type of a turnover.
The only passing they're going to be doing now is some of that play action passing. Again, they're going to be trying to run that clock and move the ball on the ground.
So a keeper over to the left side by Martin.
And again, great defense by Trey McBride to bring him down single-handedly out there.
And there was no gain on that, as it will bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 23. All the Pueblo East wants to do now is run clock, as we're down to 9:40 in the 4th period. Puts a man in motion, pitches it off to Torres. Going right, gets it out across the 35 or 25. Out to about the 27-yard line.
You had to work hard for those 4 yards.
So bring up a 3rd and 6. Big down here for the Mustang defense, as they set it at the 28-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5. 3rd and 5 from the 28. Two receivers, right, 2 left. Shotgun formation is Martin keeps it out on this left side. Gets across the 30. The 35s look like where he will be out at, about the 30. At the 34, but that will be enough for the 1st down, as the Eagles will be able to run some more time off the clock.
And that was a well-blocked play by them. They had several people out there and very few Fort Morgan runners. I thought he was going to, or blocked defenders, I thought he was going to take it a lot farther than that.
So 1st and 10, Eagles from their own 34. We're down to 8:49. He did run out of bounds.
We're going to have to get a stop here.
So it's a handoff to Torres, and maybe gets 1 out to the 35. So 2nd and 9 from the 35 for the Eagles. Mustang defense still being pretty stout, but they've got to get a stop here on this series here pretty quick. They're going to run out of time to try and get back into this, down 21-7.
Yeah, they're going to have to force a turnover or make some sort of spectacular play on special teams to get back in this one.
Put Padula in motion left to right, but it's going to be a keeper by Martin as he jukes around across the 45-40, and he will finally go out of bounds on the far side into Fort Morgan territory at the Fort Morgan 45. So not what the doctor ordered there for the Mustang defense. Daniel Martin juked his way down to the 45.
And I think the Pueblo East offense is just sensing that this is a definitive drive, that if they can just keep pounding down, that Fort Morgan's not going to be able to respond if if they just use up a lot of clock and hopefully they're thinking score.
So two receivers right. It's a direct snap back to Martin as he gets it down. I think there might have been a face mask. We'll see.
One guy in yellow lost his helmet and is coming off. I don't know if that was what you saw or.
Well, I thought it might have been a face mask against Martin when he was running.
Yep.
And he did get it down to the 41, but see if they will.
Personal foul.
Yep.
Hands to the face on the defense.
Hands to the face.
So that might have been a blocker getting his hand, or a defender getting his hand up into the face of that offensive lineman who came out with his helmet off. But not a penalty that you need at this point. Just under 8 minutes left, and they're all the way now down into deep into Fort Morgan territory. At where are they placing that? At the 26.
So 1st and 10. East from the Morgan 26-yard line is, we guess Martin will wait. They do have a play clock down on the field sitting at 17 and counting down, and he'll just wait for that to run down to probably 4 or 5 seconds or 10. So he hands off to Torres as Torres fights his way, twists and turns down inside the 20. So that will bring up a second down as he gets it to the 18. About a 2nd and 2.
It just looks like Fort Morgan's worn out and disheartened out there, that they're just letting them have their way with them at this point.
And that big offensive line is wearing us down.
Right.
That brings up a 2nd and 2. Martin goes under center, I formation with DeRose and Torres behind him. Hands off to Torres as he will pick up the first down, gets inside right at the 15. So a gain of 3, but all he needed was 2. So 1st and 10 from the 15 for the Eagles. They started this drive from their own 23. We had 10:13 left on the clock. At that time, we were now down to 6:50 and counting here in the 4th period.
And they can, hopefully Fort Morgan can do something here, stop them, get a turnover. But if they don't, it's going to be curtains,
High formation once again as they hand off to Torres, and he keeps fighting his way as he's down. Looks like if he's far enough for the first down or not, I can't tell what they've.
No, he only got to the 6, looks like.
Nope, got to the 6, so they'll bring up 2nd and 1.
And he's getting all his yards here in the second half.
And lining up in an I formation, and they haven't done much of that all day. Torres is the deep back and DeRose is the lead back. That's the way they're lined up once again, I formation with Martin under center. He drops the ball though, and the ball is kicked around, and I think
looks like
Fort Morgan
has it.
Frank Rosales got on the ball. So that was the turnover they were looking for.
And we're back in business, although it's tough sledding with just under 6 minutes left. Got a long field and then have to get the onside kick. But there's hope in Mustang land, and the fans over there are cheering their defenders for making that stop.
So 1st and 10 Fort Morgan from their own 5. We are down to 5:53, so they're going to have to make it quick. As Knapp rolls out here, and the incomplete pass intended for Kyle Daniels. So that brings up a 2nd and 10. As I'm sure Pueblo East is sitting back kind of waiting for those pass plays, as Fort Morgan's got to get downfield quickly.
And I don't think there's anyone in the stadium that's not aware that passing isn't Fort Morgan's forte.
As they get people set up, Dawson Frick into the game, coming wide right. 3 receivers to the left. Shotgun formation is Knapp as he rolls out to his left. Passes well over the head of Kyle Daniels as Knapp is hit after the pass. Runs over to Coach Harrison Chisholm.
And all season long we talked about how Dalen really matured and was able to get some passing, but Fort Morgan's passing success came on, the establishing the run and then doing some play action. And he really had a good year for a junior that hadn't played as a sophomore. But this isn't really fair for him to be stuck in this position because this is definitely not his game.
So rolls out to his left, pass down the left side of the field is going to fall to the ground between Martin and DeRose. I believe that was there for, it was number 6, Ariano, excuse me.
And with 5:38 to go, they, at this position they have to punt because there'd be no way that they'd keep him from scoring if they didn't make it, and just have to hope for a turnover again and get the ball back. Too bad they couldn't have done a volleyball move and bumped it and set it back to Daniels, who was deep, and he could have caught it and gone all the way.
Yep. So Pueblo East with Martin at about the 35, and I believe Padula stands about the 40. Not a good punt, as it's going to go out of bounds at the 25, 26-yard line. So only about a 20-yard punt. Well, let's see, they're going to mark it at the 20. Yeah, right at the 25.
And the end score and the stats aren't really going to tell the tale of this game. Fort Morgan fought so well and had such a great defensive scheme to shut them down through 3 quarters, and it was just there towards the end when they were able to get a couple big plays and then, march down that last drive.
That brings up a 1st and 10 East from the 25. Down to 5:32. It's going to be a handoff to Torres. Wide open hole at the 20, at the 15. Stiff arm still in bounds. Goes down and gets clear down inside the 5. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 3.
And he showed what a horse he was there, just running over a Fort Morgan defender out there.
So I'll bring up 1st and goal. East from basically the 2. We're down about under 5 minutes left to go here in the game as they line up in an I formation, receivers left and right. It's going to be a handoff to Torres once again. It looks like he is going to be in for the touchdown. Let's see where they mark it. One ref comes in and they do give him the touchdown.
Yeah, I think at this level, as an official, you can't run in there and let him squirm that ball forward to give him the touchdown like they did. I'm not saying that he didn't have it, but it wasn't clear. They had to come all the way into the pile to see that. But good game by him. That young man's worked hard. That was his 21st carry and second touchdown on the game.
Yeah, only a junior, so he will be back next year. So Torres takes it in from 2 yards out. It was only a 25-yard drive.
Yeah, that game of field position just kind of caught up with the Mustangs.
Point after once again is good, and that is Sebastian Benavides that is doing their kicking, but it was up and good. So now with 5:02 left here in this contest, it is now a 28-7 lead for Pueblo East.
And it's just going to be, miracle time for Fort Morgan to try and get back 3 scores in 5 minutes. Roosevelt still 22-10 over Delta. Platte Valley losing to Bayfield 28-6 with only about the same amount of time left in the 4th quarter. In the 1A, Paonia and Buena Vista at 20-21. A very close game there. Sedgwick County ending up winning the 8-man title. Well, with 4 minutes left, they're up by 24, so they probably will.
So Fort Morgan getting to the semifinals once again in football 2 years in a row is quite an accomplishment. Last year they really weren't, people really didn't know much about Fort Morgan, and this year they have come out as Anthony Arroyo takes it about the 5, the 15, the 20, still fighting as he gets it out across the 20 to the 24. So 1st and 10 Mustangs from the 24.
And this Fort Morgan football team really has nothing to apologize for it. to go 12-0 and get to this level. Pueblo East, you got to give them the credit. They're very talented, very physical, big team. They've got the experience of winning state title last year. Fort Morgan's going to look back and be proud. I'm sure some of the kids will look at it and say, I could have done this, I could have done that. But, it's a team effort, and the team came out and played them tough for 3 quarters pretty much, most of 3 quarters. And then, Pueblo East just got some breaks and were able to put it away, I would guess.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from their own 24. As they line up in the I formation, Daniels left, Marquez to the right. It's going to be handoff to Toby up the middle. As he breaks it out across the 25, keeps pounding kids, and he goes out across the 35.
And if you leave it up to Toby McBride, he's single-handedly going to win this game. He's a senior. He's off to play Division I with CSU next year, and there's no quitting this kid.
So 1st and 10, Morgan from the 37. It's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimball over that left side. He breaks it across the 40, out to about the 42. See where they finally mark it down. Maybe the 43.
And I think we're just seeing 43. That, even though it's not the best strategy at this point, it's the only game we have to have any chance of success at is running that ball. So we're going to continue to run it and stop the clock on first downs.
So Toby runs it out to midfield. So that will be enough for a first down. So 1st and 10 from midfield for the Mustangs. As they hurry up to the line, down to just over 4 minutes left here in the contest. Have a flag thrown. It'll be on.
That'll at least stop the clock for Fort Morgan, although they don't want to give up the 5 yards.
Got a false start on Fort Morgan. So 1st and 15 from the 45.
Talked about Toby McBride. There's no quitting Tate Kimball either. Any of them. I don't think any of the kids are, anything but, kids with a lot of integrity and a lot of work ethic, and they've worked hard to get to this point.
1st and 15, a play action by Knaps. He's going to pull it down and try to run it. Gets it out to the 45, maybe across the 45 to the 46. They're going to, City went down inbounds. They're going to keep the clock running. So we'll see if they give him one. No, they're going to mark it right at the 45, so he took a pound in there for.
Yeah, and that's not his forte either. He doesn't have the wheels or can't really put a shoulder in there and go anywhere on a run like that.
So 2nd and 15 from the 45. I formation going to be handoff to Toby once again. Stiff arms one kid, sidesteps another as he gets out to the 50-yard line, back out to the original line of scrimmage. So bring up a 3rd and 10.
And we're about to go under 3 minutes before they get this ball snapped.
So time is running out, but what a great season the Mustangs have had this year.
Great job again by Harrison Chisholm and the rest of the coaching staff. They all do such a great job.
3rd and 10, handoff to it's going to be a pass, just kind of a floater out to the left side, and it's going to be almost caught by Kyle Daniels at about the 22. But,
yeah, he was hit when he released that ball. And he's been hit a lot, sacked 6 times, and he just stands back there. And like we talked about on that last running play, he's not necessarily quick, but he put his head in there and took on a big hit and carried his momentum forward. So a lot of growth by Dalen Knapp. And how exciting is it to see Trey McBride have the season he did as a sophomore? We've got 2 more years with him coming back.
So 4th and 10. Knapp goes back. It's going to be a screen pass out to the left to Tate Kimball. Looks like he might have a little running room. 50, just down inside the 50. It won't be enough for a first down by any means. Gets 2 to the 48. So that'll be a turnover on downs. As we sit at 2:32.
And I think that Fort Morgan still has 2 timeouts left. It'll just depend on whether they want to take those, and if they do, it's going to take at least 2 first downs for Pueblo East to seal this deal.
First and 10, I formation for the Eagles. Handoff to Torres as he breaks it out along this left side. Going to be a flag in the backfield. There'll be a holding call against Pueblo East as they were holding Trey McBride out on this left side.
But I think since you held him to no gain, you almost want to not take that penalty and save the clock of letting him run another play. I don't know. It's a hard decision for a coach to make.
So it was first down at the 48, and that's...
Colby, offense, number 50, Colby. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, they're going to take it. So they'll bring up first and 20.
And a little bit more, looks like all the way back to the 36.
Okay. So about first and 22. From the 36. Keeper out to that right side, and he is hit down over there by Frank Rosales and Kyle Daniels at about the 44-yard line. So they'll bring up a second and about 15 from the 44. As we are down under 2 minutes, a minute 47 left here.
And I'm guessing if Fort Morgan isn't calling timeouts here, they're just going to let it go. They're going to still play hard, but they've conceded this game.
So second and 15, I formation as they hand off to Torres up the middle. Gets it across midfield and down to about the Mustang 49. So that will bring up third down and about 7 from the 49. So we'll see if Pueblo East wants to kneel on this thing and get out of here, if they just want to.
Well, they got to get a first down, I think.
They're down to a minute 4. About third and 7. I formation once again for Pueblo East to hand off. I believe that was to Torres once again. Held short of the first down as they get it down to the 39-yard line. Or excuse me, 44-yard line. That brings up a fourth and about 3. As this clock continues to run, we'll be down to 20 seconds and under before they snap this ball. It's got 5 seconds left on the play clock. And it's going to be a keeper by Martin out here to this left side. And he is going to go down, so Fort Morgan
will get the ball down. Back.
Get the ball back with just a few seconds left on the clock. We're down to 9 seconds.
And some hugging by the different players out there from Pueblo East showing respect for Fort Morgan, who definitely came out and gave them a little more of a game than they expected on that.
So we're down to 1 play left here in the Mustang season, but as we said before, nothing to be ashamed of. You're one of the top 4 teams left in 3A football, so nothing to be ashamed of, that's for sure.
It would be fitting to give the ball to Toby. I don't know what they're thinking, but.
And they do give it to Toby. Going to get about 4 yards, and he drops the ball down, and that will bring this contest to a close as the Fort Morgan Mustangs go down to defeat to the Pueblo East Eagles by a score of 28-7. We will be back with our post-game show on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Fort Morgan Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. This was a 7-7 contest here at Dutch Clark Stadium. at halftime, it was all Pueblo East in the second half. Fort Morgan on its first possession of the second half tried a 38-yard field goal. That was no good, just to the left. The Pueblo East Eagles took possession on the 20-yard line, and in 3 plays, Torres takes it in from 41 yards out. PAT is good, makes it 14-7, and that's the way this the third period ended. On the first play of the fourth period, DeRose on a 8-yard pass from Martin takes it into the end zone. Actually, he was wide open in the end zone. Catches the pass. PAT is good once again, makes it a 21-7 contest. On the Mustangs then had to go 3 and out. East next possession after the fumble on their 10th possession, but Fort Morgan fumbles or recovers it, but does not make any use of their field position. So the Mustangs then go 3 and out, have to punt. It was a short punt. The 2 plays, Torres runs it in from 2 yards out, makes it 28-7, and that is how this contest came to an end in the Mustangs season. But what a great season they had, and I think Kevin has some stats here.
Yep. Yeah, he did not total up Pueblo East's second half stats. They did have quite a bit of offense, but I see this as a tale of 2 halves, where the first half Fort Morgan went toe-to-toe with them and really stuffed them and held their offense. The only points they got was the punt return. But in the second half, they just adjusted and played a little better than Fort Morgan. And while I'm thinking about it before I go over the stats, just wanted to share with people who weren't here after the team meeting. The team went over and lined up on the sideline facing the fans and thanked the parents and everyone who's done everything that they've done to make this even possible. And that's just a sign of how humble and what good kids we have, that they appreciate, who they are and where they come from and what they've been able to accomplish. Yep. So on the day, Toby McBride, the senior, playing his last game as a Mustang, gets 8 carries for 31 yards, just barely under 4 yards per carry, and it wasn't for lack of effort. He's always fought hard for each yard that he gets, and also did a great job of blocking for Tate Kemble. Tate Kemble ends the day with 21 carries for 187 yards, and the 1 touchdown. He also has 2 catches for 8 yards. Dalen Knapp carries the ball 1 time for no yards. He also passes the ball 13 times with 5 completions for 19 yards. No interceptions by Dalen today, so he did a really good job of managing the game. And when he played within the game plan, he carried it out and did a really good job of getting the ball to the runners. Yep. He was sacked 6 times for a loss of 31 yards. And so that just shows how dominant Pueblo East's defensive line was and their linebackers, as they were able to get to Dalen before he had a chance to even throw the ball most of those times. Trey McBride catches 2 of those passes for 10 yards, and Kyle Daniels catches 1 for 1 yard. He also has 1 passing attempt for an incompletion. Arroyo carries the ball 4 times for 17 yards. We didn't see a lot of the other players that we've seen in the past, and that's because it was such a hard-fought battle. Anthony Arroyo really working hard to get himself into that, come off the bench position, like as in basketball, the 6th man, and he came in and really did a great job for the Mustangs this year as well. So the final totals for the game: Fort Morgan 5 of 13 for minus 12 yards passing and receiving, 5 for 19 yards, running 34 carries for 235 yards, and the 1 touchdown. So the total yardage for the day for the Mustangs, 223 yards. So Brian, I just again, want to thank you for being my partner all this year, and obviously the radio station B106 for allowing us to do this. Yeah. and the Fort Morgan Mustangs for extending the season 3 weeks, because it's really been a lot of fun.
Yep, that's for sure. And thank you for what you've done. Also, a broadcast partner for the last, I guess it's 4 years I've been with you. So, our Fort Morgan Mustangs player of the game is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center, with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling Brush and Fort Morgan, your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies, from plumbing to feed. And we are going to go with Mr. Tate Kimball today on his 21 carries, 187 yards, and 1 touchdown, and just another fine all-around day for Tate Kimball. Just couldn't find the end zone enough on the offense, as Kevin said. That pretty stout defense there on that Pueblo East side. So, but I'd like to thank, as you said, the Mustangs, Harrison Chisholm, and his coaches Greg Edson, Josh Langford, Jeff Peterson, Jim Crackermeyer, Ty Davis, Joe Graves, Jake Schneider, Chris Burkhart, and Seth Wolf for what they've done for this Mustang football program, and they will be back and ready to go at it again next year as they bring some more good leadership back next year with Tate and Trey and Dalen and Austin Braden back, and a number of them. So
absolutely,
they will be a force to reckon with. I think it'll be in that Northern League. It's going to be a tougher road to hoe, I believe, next year, but they'll be up for it. I'm sure these coaches will get them ready for each and every game. And I'd like to thank Kevin for broadcast partner once again this year. Fine job that you have done. I'd like to thank Michaela Clipper and Julie Garcia, who have been doing the boards for us all year. Great job by those 2 young ladies back in Fort Morgan. So, some of our game sponsors that we have, the starting lineup is brought to you as Cargill Beef. The opening kickoff was Ingmar Phillips. Mustangs halftime show was B&B Appliance. The first Fort Morgan score of the game was Morgan Federal Bank. Timeouts, Fort Morgan timeouts was brought to you by Early Toyota East. Post-game show is Morgan Community College. And the Mustang player of the game was brought to you this year by Mr. D's Ace Home Center. So if you stop into one of these businesses, give them a big shout out, big thanks, and for sponsoring these broadcasts. Makes it possible for us to come up here and do these games. And it's like Kevin said, it's been a fun year. Just came up 1 game short, but nothing to hide, nothing to hang their heads on, that's for sure. So,
just a fine bunch of athletes with great sponsors and great family and a great community in Fort Morgan, and just proud to represent them here, broadcasting the Mustangs football.
Yep. So, I guess we'll go ahead and close this out for the season. Michaela Clipper has been our sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs football today. For Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. Once again, the final score this afternoon was Pueblo East 28, Fort Morgan 7. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football today on 1010 KSIR, Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.